Okay, so what we have done, okay, I played the game, I mean, with my student, Ira, and she played quite decently. So let's look at the game and see what were the mistakes in the game. E4, C5. So she played this bishop C4. Bishop C4 is not one of the main lines in the Sicilian, in the sense that typically with this knight F3, what they are typically doing after this D6 is they want to play D4, go for an open Sicilian. This is called the open Sicilian. Closed Sicilian is not bad, but this is not, I have less idea in that, but closed Sicilian is not a great way of playing with white. That is typically the case. This open Sicilian white is more considered dangerous is because the knight becomes beautifully centralized. Like if you play like this, the knight is centralized, and what happens generally, white gets a slight lead in development. In the initial phase, white gets a lead in development, and black has to play precisely in the open Sicilian to equalize. And it is quite, there's a lot of theory. It is still contested at the grandmaster level. In fact, this is how most of the grandmaster games go in E4, C5. One is E4, E5, and the other one is this. Bishop C4, okay, this is, I don't want to talk too much about opening, it's okay. Knight C6, H3 I don't like. You wanted to prevent Ira, I think Bishop G4, but time is of an essence in the opening, and making slow moves like H3 is generally not advisable. Though this is a slightly closed position, this is not very open. You can play H3, so there's no fundamental flaw in this, but there was no need to be worried of this pin. You could have thought of even at times to play D3 and knight BD2 and then move the queen away. So it was, I think H3 is not required. See the moves H3, H6, they are not typically played in the opening in the first 6-7 moves. But okay, chess has some exceptions. So H3 is not terrible. Knight F6, D3. So you are going for a close structure. As I said, D4 is another way. You want to open the center. Black definitely exchanges the C pawn for the D pawn. So this is what you are playing is also okay. G6, because you're not going to attack me on the king side. Your attack will be slightly slower. So I thought, okay, I'll castle and put the bishop, the dragon bishop on G7. Knight C3, A6 is not a slow move because I want to expand on the queen side. So that is why A6 is not a move which is time wasting. H3 can be viewed as a wasting move. Okay, Ira, you can also ask anything if you want. It is not bad, but still A4 is a good move. The idea of A4 is it prevents me from playing B5. And as I explained to you guys, that when you're playing a game of chess, chess is a strategic duel, and you want to inhibit the plans of the opponent. If you feel that the opponent's plan is good, because B5 was actually uh, gaining more space, and then I will easily play bishop B7 probably. So the move A4 is a decent move because it stops my plans from succeeding. So that is why A4 is okay. It's a good move, in fact. I like the move A4. Castles, both sides have this B3. Not sure about B3 actually. I think bishop G5, or you can play bishop E3, queen D2, and try to exchange your dark squared bishop for my bishop. Because generally in this structure, right, this bishop is a very good defender, and you want to trade the pieces. Why is this coming again? This network, this is showing now. How is it? I don't want to go with this computer analysis. Why is it showing? Ira, why is it showing? Any idea?
No, sir.
How is it? Can I click on the why
So,
stop?
if you click that, you can analyze it better. Sir.
Study.
Study. Sir,
Okay.
you can analyze the game better. Create
Okay.
study.
Great study. Okay, let me go there. Okay, so
Yes, yes.
yeah, even so B3 move, we were here, right? So castle B3, I don't like it. Okay, I mean, I'm not getting viewed by the engine thing, but I feel that bishop e3, queen d2, this is one thing which you can think of. This is one plan you can have, and then exchange the bishop for this bishop. This is one idea. But b3, your idea was, I think, to put the bishop on b2. But to neutralize my bishop. But that doesn't look like a good idea. That, I mean, at least to me, that does look slightly weaker. And see, why I want to exchange this bishop for this bishop is, my bishop is a very good defensive piece. And if somehow you can trade this light squared bishop for my bishop, then my king side will have dark squared weakness. That is the rationale why you want to trade that bishop for this. It happens in a lot of Sicilian and Dragon and all. You want to trade this very strong defensive piece on g7, which can also be attacking at times. Okay, so I don't like the move b3. Later on, you can check with Stockfish, and some of the views of Stockfish might not agree with mine, and maybe it is, at times it will definitely tell moves which are stronger than my suggestion. But I am just telling my thought process, which is important. So I was here thinking about, Ira, as I explained to the class, I was thinking about this tactics here also. Okay, because your weakening move b3. But then I thought you might trap my bishop. I didn't like the look of this thing, that my bishop will play c3. Probably f5 I can have, and I can rescue my bishop, but I didn't see it fully and I didn't go for it. Maybe I can play like this and play f5 and kick the knight and then take the pawn, because I think f5 is possible unless you have some other thing, some jumps or something. But f5 is possible, kicking the knight from this square e4 and then taking the pawn and running away. But f5 anyway, sorry, f5 is not possible. The pawn is pinned on f7. So if I can't kick this knight, then I have d5. I didn't see d5 that time. d5 is possible, right, Ira? d5 will trap the piece. Both the knight and the bishop are on the same square. So maybe the best move was this itself. Take this, and you can't trap my bishop, because even if you trap it, I have this move, d5. But actually, I didn't see it fully, okay? So I didn't see this exact d5 move, because the bishop and the knight, they are, they are separated by one file, and the pawn push will trap one of the pieces. So that is why I didn't see that. So otherwise, I could have got for this. So you see, Ira, the problem of b3 move, what is happening? Because of this move b3, you have a lot of weakness on this diagonal, a1, h8 diagonal. So I went here. I mean, there could be several ways of playing. I thought, let me exchange this. I didn't see the d5 move, otherwise I could have gone for this. You went here, and here it was correct on my part to actually not take knight e4. I think somehow I initially thought knight, because you can take with the pawn there. So I exchanged this, and here you should have taken with this. Then I can't do the tactics. Then knight e4 is not possible, because you will take with the, if I do this knight e4, you will take with the pawn, not with the knight. You have both the choices. You will take with the pawn. But you took with this. And anyway, capturing away from the center is generally not a good idea unless there is a solid reason for it. So this capture was a mistake, definitely a blunder. Small, but I would not, it is definitely a mistake, because you lost a pawn. Took here, took here, took here. Now I have to be careful, because one pawn advantage is not that your position is hopeless or your king is weak and something I can attack and win. So I went, and this time I went with this because I'm gaining a tempo on your rook. Because I'm gaining a tempo on the rook, you cannot save the, you cannot save this tempo here. So I will just move the, you cannot trap the bishop. You don't have the time to play c3. This I realized, and that is why I went with that line. But okay, if you had chosen the correct line, not going with capturing with the b pawn, then I wouldn't have won the pawn. So okay, I went back. Rook e1, rook e8, queen d2. Okay, so you are trying to centralize, which is a good idea. So she is trying to put the pieces on the central squares. So I was thinking of playing bishop f5 also, but bishop f5 also I didn't like it that much. I thought that I'll keep the bishop on the long diagonal and attack towards the king. And I played b6, he went here, b7. Yeah, so this started creating some problems. The knight jumps are a little bit trickier than what I presumed them to be. And maybe I could have exchanged this bishop for one of the knights, because okay, so I was playing this, I played queen c7. I think I was forced there, right? No, but I wanted to play this anyway. So queen f4 looks like a good move, and perhaps it is. It is definitely a good move, okay, attacking f7. And here I spent some time, I was not sure what I should do. And I played this move e5. Among all the choices which I had, I felt e5 was okay, even though it is blunting my own bishop. But I have to defend properly now, because the attack is slightly dangerous right now. So you went here. I think this was not a great idea, because what happens that if you trade this knight, okay, maybe I don't know what is the idea. What else? If you keep this knight here, right, then this d6 pawn is weak. So I will have to anyway play rook a d1. You should try to maintain that. So my plan was, Ira, maybe you can also tell what you thought, but I was thinking that definitely I have to give up the bishop for the knight now. Now your knights are dangerous for me. So I was actually slightly happy that this trade happened. And then I centralized this, because you are attacking the d6 pawn again. So I have to defend the d6 pawn. Now this rook e3 is slow, because I came here, forced the queen trade, and after the queen trade, I think black is technically winning. A strong player will not lose unless it's time pressure, because I just have to trade more. I mean, it's getting into a rook ending where a pawn advantage is crucial, unless it is only one pawn advantage. So h4 also I didn't like. I smoked this knight out. Now you are forcing this trade. Okay, I'm ready to give the bishop, because this knight is otherwise jumping to f6. I took this, went here, activated the king. g4 and all is not good. Okay, I just went here. h6, h5, I don't need to touch. It's not that it is checkers I'll open there, because if I do that, my pawn structure is becoming bad. I can leave it like that. Play d5, break this center. Now activate the rook. And this, I think, was the time when we disconnected. f3 you played. f3 again is not a good thing. You should try to activate your king. Probably king g2 and stuff like that, king f3. Start marching your king. Here, this is nothing. My rook enters. You went c4, I went here. Now this is bad. You could have defended the pawn by playing rook e3. Defended both the pawns. But my position is now slowly improving. My rook is more active. I have one pawn advantage. But still it will require some effort to win. But this move f4 is not anything. It's not a threat. I took this, I won one more pawn. Now I am 2 pawns up. So this is easily winning if I don't make any mistake in time pressure. This is not position you can hold. g4, I had calculated this. I'll just push f5, because the pin you are trying to use, I'll push it. And you exchange again. You went here. I didn't want you to come inside, even though this is winning, because I'm 2 pawns up. So I went here, went there, check. I won another pawn. Went here. Okay, this is easily winning. If you take 1 pawn, it doesn't matter to me, because I'm taking 2 of yours. This is lost. You played some moves. Okay, I mean, I went here. Rook behind the passed pawn. This is what Dr. Tarash had said. Rook behind the passed pawn, because this will add power to the pawn, and then the pawn will easily promote to a queen. This pawn taking is nothing. Okay, this is like played some moves, not the fastest, because the time is less. Move the king away, and then the laddering technique. You are threatening to take a pawn, but you are getting mated now. And here check. Yeah, so Ira, you have any doubts in this? Any thoughts you want to share? Before I stop the recording and ask you to switch on the camera, but you have anything you want to share with us? Your thought process in this game? Or what do you think? where you went wrong and stuff like that, or your thought process why you played that move. Anything you want to add, Ira?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me.
Sir, can you go to that position when the knight was on f4 or f5?
Yeah. Once I clear your doubts, then I will stop the recording and then you can switch on the camera. Yeah, where you're saying? Even before, but you see
No,
that.
even before.
Yeah, I'm coming
So when I
to
played
that.
knight f6.
Yeah, I'm telling one thing. As soon as it got into a double rook ending and a single rook ending, one pawn advantage was actually becoming more and more pronounced. Yeah, here.
So before. Yes, sir. Here I played knight f6 because I thought there were some checkmating chances.
Yeah, but my pieces are not so badly positioned that you will be able to checkmate. Okay, you thought so, but how will you execute it? If you kept the knights, maybe rook e3 and something there, rook g3, something. I mean, see what's happening is you traded this. Trading is not bad if you have a forced win. I played this. Now, what do you want to do? If I give you more time, maybe you think about it later. How will you orchestrate an attack here? On h7, the other thing is h7, right? But now I'm going to kick your queen out, okay? Your queen also doesn't have a good square. f3 is controlled by my bishop, f4 is controlled by my pawn, and your queen doesn't have a good square. So it's a forced queen trade in a way. So in fact, e5, I was not sure about the move e5, but e5 I think is a quite good move because now the defense is quite good. Your queen has no square to retreat, right? Ira, you see this? Your queen has no way to retreat now.
Yes, sir.
Has to be exchanged, and once the exchange happens, the knight alone will not be able to launch an attack. Okay, if the rook was also active, then maybe you could have done that. It's not rook and knight; they combine very well. We know about all these mating patterns, Arabian mate and Astasia's mate. But here the defense is not so weak that you will be able to launch an attack. So I feel that, I mean, in this position, once this position arises, I'm out of the woods. There's not major problem here. I mean, even though you are attacking, certainly, but I have to defend, that is okay. But it's not that the defense is very difficult. Queen e7, force the queen trade, smoke out the knight from that square g5, and then activate the king, and then it should be hunky-dory. It should be simple. Anything else you want to say? Ask L.
No, sir.
Okay, so maybe I'll stop the recording first for this.